So their structure differs in the sense that a prokaryotic cell, it has a cell wall, so the shape is typically rigid, whereas a eukaryotic cell, it has a cell membrane and no cell wall. For animal cells, but plant cells, it must be noted that plant cells have the cell wall. But for animal cells, the shape is amorphic, meaning that it's rather flexible because the cell membrane is not completely rigid. The fundamental similarities between prokaryotes and eukaryotic cells lie in the fact that they both have cell membranes. They contain ribosomes. They both have DNA, and they both contain a cytoplasm. In a eukaryotic cell, there's two main differences. There's two types, the plant cell and the animal cell. So even within the eukaryotic cell, there are differences that lie between the two types. So as I said previously, the plant cell has a cell wall, which a prokaryotic cell also has, but an animal cell does not have. And it also has plastids, such as the chloroplast. Animal cells have centrioles, which plant cells do not have, and this is for mitotic divisions. The differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotes lie mainly in the DNA, because prokaryotic cells have naked DNA and it's circular and it exists as a plasmid, whereas for eukaryotes, they are associated with histones, meaning that the DNA sequences are wrapped around other proteins known as histones, and thus they are linear. In prokaryotes, the genes don't have introns, meaning that all genes code for some protein, whereas in eukaryotes, there are introns that don't code for anything and interfere with the genetic sequence. Furthermore, because there is no nucleus in prokaryotes, the DNA lies in the cytoplasm, whereas a eukaryotic cell has a nuclear membrane, so the DNA is within the nucleus. For organelles, prokaryotes don't have membrane-bound organelles, whereas eukaryotes do, such as the endoplasmic reticulum. The prokaryotes also have 70S ribosomes, and eukaryotic cells have 80S ribosomes, meaning that the ribosomes in eukaryotic cells are bigger than the ones in prokaryotic cells. And prokaryotic cells are a lot smaller than eukaryotic cells because prokaryotes are single-celled organisms such as bacteria. So they exist as an organism, whereas eukaryotes are larger organisms such as animals and plants, and have more organelles in them and are more complex. There's also a difference in cell division. Prokaryotes divide through binary fission, where the DNA replicates, attaches to the sides of the cell, and the cells pinch together and form two exact copies. Whereas for eukaryotes, they go through mitosis to create new cells and meiosis to create sex cells. And this division is much more complex than binary fission because there are a lot more phases and a lot more organelles involved. Okay, now I'm done.